Hello YouTube, this is Die376 and welcome back to yet another edition of Stories from the Friendzone, the segment where we go to the Friendzone subreddit and try to figure out what the fuck is going on. I wasn't going to do this tonight, but if I waited any longer, then these posts would just keep piling up, and I'm already answering these questions like a week late, couple weeks late, so I figure, fuck it, why not? Why not just do it? Anyone have insight into the history of the friend zone? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the friend zone seems like a recent phenomenon. The first time I ever heard the term was from the movie Just Friends during Ryan Reynolds' horrific description of it. I'm wondering what it was like in previous generations. Was the term even in use? Did people simply call it rejection? I've never seen the movie Just Friends starring fat Ryan Reynolds, but it sounds fucking horrible and it sounds like I need to watch it. Who's his best friend? Who's he get friend zoned by? Jennifer Aniston? I guess it wouldn't be the first time that she friend zoned a guy, because that's where it's from. It's from Friends. At least that's what it's claimed to be from. Do they say the word friend zone in Friends? But yeah, that was in the 90s. I think I was talking about it in a previous podcast. But yeah, a long time ago, they just called it unrequited love. I'm sure Shakespeare has written about it, and I'm sure there are a lot of very famous publications and pieces of literature that deal with the friend zone. What did she/he mean to you? A question I want to ask all of you in the friend zone is, what did she or he mean to you? All of us in this subreddit talk about that person that placed us in the friend zone, so they had to mean something to you. For me, that person came into my life when I needed someone the most. I was depressed for several months and increasingly made plans of killing myself. The weekend night before classes got out, I took a last chance and talked to her. I got lucky because I met the most kind and caring person on this planet. I wanted to live because I wanted to see her again and to get to know her more. Yeah, for me, she was just a person that I spoke with on the phone, like, way too much. We didn't even speak over the phone. I think she just talked the whole time. I think she, like, did her nails over the phone one time. Why the best thing that happened to me this year was getting friend-zoned. The girl this happened with had moved out of state a few years ago and just recently moved back. We hung out on her birthday. We both got a little drunk. Some things happened, and shortly after I confessed that I liked her, more than just friends. Her response was simple: "No, stop, we're just friends." And she seemed a little upset concerning the matter. At first this sucked. We still hung out every now and then. Things didn't really change, but I started thinking, this girl is 5 years younger than me. I'm turning 25, and she recently turned 20, and she still sometimes acts immature and somewhat childish. I currently have a decent job, but I realized it's not where I ultimately want to be, and it's thanks to be friend-zoned. After she expressed her wishes of remaining just friends, I started really thinking, what if she had said yes? Well, looking back now, I realized I had slowly been sliding into mediocrity. I was becoming content and stupid. I'm already fat. XD. If she had said yes, I am confident now I would have let myself slide further into mediocrity and ultimately ended up less happy and not on the correct path to making myself happy. With her being how she is, I would have continued to be immature and childish at times because it would seem appropriate. Looking ahead to where I want to be now, the path is clear, and it hit me like a dump truck today. I would have remained childish and immature because becoming an adult is scary. Right now, I feel I've made the correct choice, and this year will likely be my last pre-adult year. It's still scary to think about every year after this one will be an adult year. It's terrifying, but it is the correct path to take, and it is the only one to achieve true happiness for me at this point. For that, I thank her for friend-zoning me, because without that, I would have carried on immature and childish for at least a couple more years. Something to think about regardless. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying here. The funny thing about being in your mid-20s, and I imagine it's, just gonna get, I guess, more familial as you get older, but, when you're in your mid-20s and you're like, becoming an adult and trying to do adult shit and, trying to learn how the world works and trying to learn how to run the world along with everybody else that is here with you who is your age, you kind of just realize that those people that are standing next to you, that are working with you, like I'm saying, the same age as you are, you realize they're just people that you grew up with. And that those people don't have any idea of how to run or work the world any more or less than you do. So you're just going through life, trying to, do adult shit, pay your bills, drive a car, get to work on time, try to take some kind of responsibility with your actions and with your life, and you realize everybody else is kind of doing the same thing. And they don't know how to do it any more than you do. Becoming an adult is scary in that you're realizing all the other people that are becoming adults with you don't know how to be adult either. And so what are you trying to emulate? I kinda probably need advice. I feel a bit lost and need some advice. The story so far. I was in a relationship that lasted about 3 years and ended about a month ago. The girl decided to move out of town. I wasn't up for it. Things were getting a bit colder between us anyway, so there you have it. Anyway, about 2 years ago, this really awesome girl started working in the company I'm at. There was this instant connection between us, and it was obvious that we liked each other. If you do the math, however, you'll notice that I was about a year deep into my last relationship. She was already with a guy for something like 2 years, and none of us are the cheating type. So we basically just ignored everything there might have possibly been between us and never actually discussed it. Just casual small talk, cigarette breaks, all that normal work environment stuff. Eventually, she broke up with her boyfriend about a year ago. And now we get to the present, or more specifically, 2 weeks ago. We were out drinking with some of the colleagues. She was there too, both of us single. Long story short, we hit it off. She stayed at my place, even though no sex was actually involved, as we decided not to do anything stupid while drunk. The next morning, we decided that that's that, basically, and we won't be doing anything serious. Some casual sex at best, but nothing more. I thought I was okay with that arrangement, but soon realized that I couldn't stop thinking about her. I told her that I really want to actually be with her. We can take it slow, there's no need to rush anything, and I really actually meant all of that. She seemed a bit apprehensive at first, but eventually looked like she warmed up to the idea or was at least willing to try. We started seeing each other, even though she was initially a bit worried that her dog, a big-ass male Doberman, might not be okay with me, being a new guy and all, which is really important for her, as she fucking adores that dog. The dog, dare I say, loved the hell out of me, so no trouble there. And it was awesome. I literally haven't felt like that in years. Until today, when she outright told me that we should stop, as she didn't want any one of us to be disappointed or hurt eventually. Naturally, I asked her what the problem was, and she told me that she's just not feeling it and I'm more of a friend to her. Which probably, kinda, would have been okay if she didn't follow that up with, if that was 2 years ago, I would have been all over you. She's going out of the country tomorrow to see some friends and will be back on Monday. I have no idea what I should do or whether I should do anything at all. The stupid thing is that I think I feel worse about that than about breaking up with my ex. And this thing with her, sure as shit, isn't just a rebound. I've had those and it's nothing like that. no, seriously. TLDR, met a girl 2 years ago while we were both in relationships. Started kind of dating 2 weeks ago. She ended it as it, quote, didn't feel right. Advice on what I can actually do. Well, I'm glad that you clarified that it wasn't a rebound, because I was beginning to suspect that that's exactly what this was. It's funny how a rebound has that kind of flavor. How when you're reading it, you can just taste that that's what it is. Yeah. The other thing is that initially, right, when you guys are hooking up the first time, okay, so you didn't want to do anything stupid while drunk. I commend you for that. It's fine. The thing is that when she introduces the, maybe we should have some casual sex, nothing too serious, just kind of take it slow. That's that opportunity. That is the time that you take it slow. The exact thing that she does not want is the dude that she's trying to take it slow with jumps in with the, oh, hey, I actually really want to be with you. Like, I really want to date you and have you be my girlfriend, but we can take it slow. We don't have to take it seriously just now. That's exactly what she doesn't want. That was the take it slow part that she was trying to establish with, hey, let's just be fuck buddies. You have to break it down like this. Okay, you like this girl. You want her to be your girlfriend. Great. Well, she's willing to give you a little piece first, right? And as long as you can take that piece, chew on it a little bit, you're fine with it. Maybe you get boned, once a week. Maybe she likes it enough she wants it twice a week. That's the foundation that you're trying to build off of. Maybe at a certain point she turns into, hey, I actually like this guy. He's willing to take it slow first. He's not going to freak out and totally want to be in a relationship with me after, just getting rid of his girlfriend that he just had for 3 years, and now it feels like he's rebounding off of me. Now I'll get into a relationship with this guy because he's willing to take it slow first instead of trying to initiate an entire relationship, but don't worry, we can take it slow first. You see what I'm saying? You don't understand why 2 weeks later she came to you and told you that, we should stop doing this because I don't want one of us to get hurt. What she actually meant was that I should stop you from trying to get into a relationship with me way before we should be getting into a relationship, so that you don't get your heart broken when you find out that I'm actually trying to just kind of date around, shop the market a little bit. She just got out of a relationship too. You know what I'm saying? So she's probably not too crazy about, latching on to another guy. That's also the kind of the thing when she's like, I don't know if my dog is going to like you. She's not concerned about that. Come on, seriously. You have to prove yourself to a dog. You have to win the approval of a dog to be with this girl? No. She was willing to have some casual sex with you, but you couldn't keep it casual. You had to try to put structure on it, try to give it some boundaries, and try to make it more rigid than she was willing to do, which I understand where that comes from. But it's all of that coupled with, the fact that you guys work with each other. So if you guys did happen to get pretty deep into a relationship and then, ended up breaking it off or whatever, then it would be completely awkward for you guys to be around each other, etc., etc. Look, you guys didn't even have to get into a full-blown relationship for that to be happening. She kind of wanted to stop that train before it got too crazy. Advice on what you can actually do. You gotta let it go. You gotta play it cool. You gotta start looking around for other girls. You gotta start looking for girls that, frankly, you're not working with. The fact of the matter is, you just got out of a long-term relationship. When was the last time that you actually had to initiate a relationship with someone. It was 3 years ago. Shit's changed, man. You've changed since you were 21, 22. Oh, I guess I have no, I'm getting confused with a different story. I have no idea how old you are. So, I would say, my advice to you, my friend, you gotta let this go. You gotta let her do her thing. You gotta kind of ignore it for a while. And this is one of those times where I'm gonna say, you know, leaving something be is going to draw her back to you, or has a better chance of drawing her back to you than your concerted efforts ever will. If you try to put more structure on this, if you try to go to her and say, you know, she just came back from her, you know, little vacation, seeing her friends overseas, whatever the fuck, she's been having a great time, and she comes back to this dude who she's working with, and he's like, so what are we gonna do about our relationship? And what does this make us? And I didn't want it to be weird, and we can start slow, and this, that. She doesn't want to deal with any of that shit. She wants to have fun. She wants to be in casual relationships that end up being fun, where guys aren't gonna, you know, try to girlfriend her within the first fucking 2 weeks. Now, how do you go about doing that? You know, there's Tinder, there's bars, there's whatever hobbies you like to do. I mean, you know, one thing I'll just throw in there as well is just try to focus on stuff that makes you approve of you. I know it's something that you don't really think about when it's happening, but when I read it, it's tough to understand the concept of you were trying to win over her dog so that you could be in a relationship with her. You know what I'm saying? The dog's not really a person. Let's get this clear. The dog is an animal. As long as you are not a very threatening person or a very smelly person, a person that does not impose any immediate danger, the dog's not gonna fucking hate you. If you're not, as long as you don't hate dogs, the dog's gonna like you fine. You don't need to win over the approval of a dog. That's just something that stuck out to me. You need approval of yourself. And that's how the girl is going to approve of you. I don't know, I'm trying to say something platitudinal there, but it's not happening. I'm so deep in the friend zone. I just read her a bedtime story to help her sleep after her crush broke her heart again. Okay, we don't live near each other, so it was over a Skype call. She was feeling down, so we were talking on Skype, and after about 4 hours she said she wanted to sleep but couldn't, and didn't want me to get off the call. As a joke, I suggested that I read her a bedtime story. She readily accepted. So I read her one, and by the end I could hear her steady breathing to indicate she had indeed fallen asleep. I'm not sure if I should be happy that I succeeded in putting her to sleep, or if I should be depressed at how far I have fallen into the friend zone. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You know what, man? I'm deep in the friend zone, too. Reading all of these posts, you know, complete with all its shitty grammar and spelling. I'm right there. I'm 15 years old. I'm back in the friend zone. Falling asleep with the phone next to my ear. I don't think I've ever read a bedtime story over the phone, but I wouldn't put it past my 15-year-old self. Do you think that she had actually fallen asleep, or that she was just faking falling asleep? I think fortunately for your generation, or maybe your generation's parents, is that being on a Skype call doesn't tie up the phone lines, so that when they're picking the phone up at 6 o'clock in the morning, when they're, you know, trying to get arranged to go to work and stuff like that, they don't pick up the phone and be like, who the fuck is on the phone? Why is the phone still on? They're not going to pick up the phone at, 6 o'clock in the morning and the computer is still connected to the internet because you're still signed in to AOL Instant Messenger, hoping that your crush is going to sign on and you're gonna hear that customized, sign-in sound that you put up there, so when it played, you knew that your crush had signed on. Yeah. I love the friend zone. You really should try to spread your focus a little bit. Open your eyes to the other girls that are out there. There's gotta be other girls out there. Well, wait, I mean, this person isn't even close to you. I mean, on a location basis. Could be one of those things where she's living in a different state or something like that. You gotta be looking at your surroundings. You gotta be focusing on other kinds of girls. There's gotta be at least one other cute girl that you know. And don't give me this BS about, yeah, but she's not perfect like my crush or whatever. Let's just focus on that thing. Let me just try to give you this. The fact that you guys are over Skype, I don't know how far away you guys live from each other, but guys do this thing where, and this is why pornography is so popular, is guys do this thing where they have this girl, this person, which is actually just an image of a person because, she's a porno video or she's over a Skype call or something. She's a digital. Start playing. Hold on. Go to YouTube right now and look up Jamie Foxx's Digital Girl and start playing that while I'm telling this to you. You guys have this image on a screen that is showing the face of the girl you like, the perfect girl. She's always there for you. She's going to be listening to you. She's going to make your problems go away. By focusing on her, none of the rest of the world matters. And you don't ever see her in person. Like, maybe you guys pass each other in the hallway. Maybe you guys don't even go to the same school. But you never actually get to touch the person or watch them do their, little human quirks that they have. You don't ever watch them pick their nose. You might not even get into what her actual interests are. And you get to put all these ideas and project your own image on top of this girl that you're focusing all of your attention on. And it gives you a really distorted view of what that person is like. Yes, she could be great. She could be really awesome. But the fact that you're focusing so much of your time and energy means that your view is becoming distorted because you are projecting so much of your image and your idealism onto her. To the point where if you actually got into a relationship with this person, you would come to find out that she has a lot of things, traits, quirks, personality, opinions that come with her that you might not like. It's gonna happen. Nobody's perfect. There's no way this girl can be as perfect or as wonderful as you have built up in your mind. Well, if you saw that this person that you only see over the computer screen in real life and started spending time with them, and you had all of this perspective, then you would realize that there were things about her that aren't all wonderful. Starting with numero uno being, she doesn't actually like you romantically. Cutting it off. Recently, I've taken to develop a crush on a girl. Well, call her Cindy. I've only known Cindy for about 9 months. At first, I never wanted anything to do with the girl just because of what I had heard about her. Things such as she's the biggest slut, she'd have to move out of town to ever get married because she's fucked the entire city. Granted, it's true, when I finally started talking to her, I've gotten it out of her for the most part without trying. She openly will say, "Oh, I fucked that guy, he was horrible," etc. Anyway, I know quite a few people shiz fucked, and which some are of my closest friends. I'm not exactly sure how or why I started to talk to her, but over time we did. I'm to the point where I really do like her for who she is, but at the same time I'm annoyed at myself for letting that happen because of her history. Now my problem is, I'm definitely in the friend zone. The shitty part of it is that almost didn't even exist to this girl because of how big of a slut she is. Why am I in the friend zone? Simple. She just doesn't find me attractive. Now honestly, I don't even try to talk to her all that much at this point. She'll message me or we'll wind up in the same place. Like I said, I really do enjoy her for who she is, and she doesn't know that I like her even though I've dropped many subtle hints. I would love for her to tell me to fuck off and that she straight up doesn't like me so I can just remove it from my mind, but it's become to the point where I'm beginning to be the emotional attachment without the physical. It drives me insane, and I really just want to tell her to leave me alone, I'm not your toy, etc. If there's nothing there, then we're done, and I go back to having nothing to do with her. I don't know how to approach that at all. Things travel fast in my group of friends, and I'm already annoyed at myself for somehow developing this crush on her. It's not something I want to be constantly reminded of. Anyone have any suggestions of how I go about cutting her off? Simply just not talking to her is actually harder than it is, and I would rather have this loop closed so I can move on with my life than let it sit in the back of my mind and eat at me. Try to fuck her, dude. I mean, what's the problem? It's weird that you're kind of disgusted by the fact that this girl has had sex with so many guys, yet the fact that she has had sex with so many guys has kind of led you to be attracted to her. Don't you find that a little bit funny? And I mean, why not? In kind of the, primal lizard brain, we're talking about, you like this woman because she is able to attract a lot of guys. So she has to be attractive on some level. It sounds a little bit more like, are you jealous? Or just, I guess, kind of disappointed that she's willing to have sex with so many other guys. And the fact that she passes you over kind of means that, I don't meet her threshold. She's going to pass judgment on me, this kind of thing. So with that said, I mean, you want her to tell you to fuck off. Why not just go for broke? What have you got to lose at this point? Don't try to get into a relationship with her. I mean, you kind of know how she is, so just bring it up like that. Kind of try to start a casual fling with her. She's not going to be dealing with a guy that's going to pussyfoot around. That's going to beat around the bush and not get right to it. If you go up to this girl and say, "Hey, we should fuck. We should get together." Nothing so crazy like that. But just like, "Hey, come over for a movie. Bring the bottle of wine, whatever." You could probably make this happen. She's not, I'll say this much. She's not going to go for a guy that's not going to go up to her and not tell her what he wants. She's going to go for a guy. She's going to have sex with a guy that's going to come up to her and say, "Hey, we're going to have sex." But don't say that. Say, "Hey, we're going to watch a movie at my place." Go for the kiss. Standard stuff, right? Grab her leg a little bit. If she's not feeling it, then she's not feeling it. If she's not feeling it, she'll tell you to fuck off. What you're looking for is the rejection, right? This is mind-boggling to me that a lot of the other guys in this subreddit cannot get this straight. Is that they're looking for the rejection. Well, how do you do that? You gotta go up to her. You gotta tell her what you want. You gotta tell her that you think she's sexy. You gotta tell her that you want to see her at your place and watch a movie. You gotta make it happen, dude. Cause if you're gonna pussyfoot it, if you're not gonna go up to her and tell her that, she's not gonna deal with it. I don't know what to do. So, a little bit of context before I start my story. I'm 16, the girl, we'll call her Jen because I can't think of any other name, is also 16. We are both going to be juniors next year and summer just started. This might be sort of a longer post as there is a lot to tell. I'm not the most attractive person, 6 feet 2 inches, 240 pounds, not fat but not skinny. And she is what most people consider to be average, but I think she is beautiful. To begin things, I'll tell you how we sort of met. We both went to the same grade school, but didn't really talk much as we were in different classes. But high school rolls around, and we both have a mutual friend. We'll call him Jake. Jake and Jen used to date in 8th grade so that they were already good friends. So the Christmas dance comes around, and I didn't really think I would get asked, so I didn't really expect it when she asked me to go with her. Jen kind of started to run through my head a bit more as the dance approached, and I sort of kind of started to think of her in a more, IDK, maybe I could hook up with her after the dance. Then Jake suggested that we all hang out with a few of my other friends, including Nolan, for the sake of privacy, not his real name again. So the night kind of flew by, and nothing really happened except that she made me laugh, and she thought I was funny like not many other people did. I'm a relatively funny guy, but I guess she thought I was more funny than most. So in the few months leading up to the dance, I went from more of a hookup standpoint to a liking her point. So when the dance rolled around and I didn't really want to just hook up with her and take a chance at ruining what could be, so we pretty much just did the normal stuff. Pictures, slow dance, go to after party, etc. So in the remaining few months of school, we really started to become good friends and I still had feelings for her. I think she might have known, but I'm not really sure. Our mutual friend groups intertwined, so we started to all hang out with each other every couple weeks. Maybe a month before summer was over, I got a text from Nolan saying, "Hey, you wouldn't be mad if I sorta liked Jen, would you?" I was livid. He knew how much I liked her, and it just pissed me off that he would say that. I kind of told him I guess not because I didn't want to fight with him, and he was like, "Okay, thanks bro." So Jen figured out that Nolan liked her, and she thought he was cute, so she kind of had mutual feelings. I know this because we pretty much talked every day. I was devastated to say the least. She was the only thing I had ever wanted, and I know I was only 15 at the time, but I feel like she was truly the one. She had never made me feel like anyone before. She made me laugh, she put a smile on my face when I was down, and she was just so fun to be around. So when summer started to roll around, they had been talking for a couple of weeks, and they would hang out with another couple that I was friends with, and I would just be left at home. In the entirety of the summer, I think we hung out 3 times, and those were the highlights of my summer. Now, Nolan is not really the most outgoing guy ever. He is super shy and didn't really know how to make a move. So the most they ever did was make out in the 2.5 months that they dated/talked. When Jen texted me and told me that they broke up about a week before summer was over, I was the happiest man alive. I was going to do my best to try and make things click between us. We started to become really good friends. We would text every day, and she would talk to me about all of the problems that she used to talk to Jake about. I felt like I was either making progress or just getting more friend-zoned. So, then maybe halfway through the first semester, she told me that she had sex with this guy from another school and she didn't know what to do. I was again devastated, not as bad as what had happened with Nolan, but damn close. And I talked her through it like any good friend would, and she told me that I was the only person that she could come to anymore and that she loved me for it. I'm not sure how much false hope those 3 words, "I love you," have given me, but it is a lot. I said it back, and since then, every night before she or I went to bed, we would say the same thing, and it was awesome. To know someone cares that much about me was crazy. Since then, about 9 months, we have talked almost every day, whether it be texting or talking in classes we have. But there was this one guy that she dated off and on for about 3 months, that she felt like she was meant to be with him. That really fucked up her mindset by the way he treated her. I helped her as much as I could, but when they finally ended things about a week ago, I have tried my hardest to help her. That is when she sent me this. And it's a screenshot of a text of her saying, I honestly don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you for making me happy when I'm sad and making me smile. I love you so much. I would do anything for you. Thank you for all you have done. You are the one I know I can go to for everything, and you do give the best advice. Thank you. I feel like you're the only one that understands me. You mean the world to me. Okay. I don't really know if they really mean anything other than I am deep in the friend zone, but it makes me happy when I see it. I guess in the end, I made this to see what you guys think. If there's anything I can do to get her to realize that I will do my best to make her the happiest girl alive, and that will treat her better than anyone she has ever been with before. TLDR, met a girl freshman year. She is amazing. Have been best friends ever since sophomore year. I don't know if there's anything I can do to get out, even though I would treat her better than 100% of the guys she has been with. Edit. Sorry for the wall of text. Bro, you got no room to be shitting on your friend about, yeah, well, in the only 2.5 months that they dated, all they did was just make out. That's it. Bro, in the 2 years that you've known her or whatever, all you've done is just talk to her nonstop. She had sex with some guy that she didn't even date. Come on now. I'm not going to bust your balls too hard about it, but that's not cool for you to be doing that. Because you have to admit that to yourself, man. You can't be doing this thing where like, oh, well, he's not good enough to be making a move on, he's too shy and he's not good enough to be making a move, this and that. Where's your move, bro? Where was the part where you came in when it should have been happening at the dance? Where you guys are there, she asked you to go. She's somewhat attracted to you because she went out of her way to ask you. And you take her to the dance, you're all dressed up. You go in there in your BMW that your mom rented. And you slow dance to Genuine or something. And after that perfect night, after the after party, drinking a little wine coolers, is when you lean in for the kiss. That's when it was supposed to happen. That's when the guy that was apparently not shy, that was apparently good enough to be making a move, that was apparently a whole shitload better than 100% of the guys that she's ever been with and would make her the happiest girl on earth, didn't do anything. Your friend Nolan is also not as shy as you are in regards to he texted you asking for your blessing, saying, hey, I got this crush that, you've been talking to on the phone for the past 2 years. Is that cool? And you didn't say no. You didn't tell him what you wanted. You said it was cool. You said, yeah, it's totally fine that, like, my bro has a crush on my crush. I can't call that shy. This dude, Nolan, picked up his balls and made out with her. I mean, I don't want to get upset about that, but now I am. So what can you do? I mean, you like this girl. You're 16 years old, first off. Dude, there's so many other girls out there. You have a whole fucking high school to pick from. There's not just this chick, right? If you're focused on this one thing, which is how do I get into a relationship with this girl? Because look, going up to her and telling her, hey, we should be in a relationship, that's not going to work, right? And cutting her off completely is not going to work. She'll realize that you're trying to cut her off and she'll, get emotional about it and this and that. But you gotta do something. You gotta focus on yourself and you gotta start looking around for other girls. And get serious about both of those things. Because you already have the part where, she would do anything for you and she loves you, this and that. Right? I mean, she doesn't really, because let's face it, you're deep in the friend zone. If you try to bring it up, she's going to shut you down hard. So you got to be focusing on the stuff that you want to be focused on. Your music projects, your other friendships that you got going on, your, art classes, your math, or whatever the fuck. Start kind of showing her and yourself that you're not spending 100% of your time on her, right? You're also willing to spend that time on yourself. You're also willing to spend that time on making yourself a better person. You have to convince her and yourself, not by telling her specifically, and also be convincing yourself that she's not the number one priority in your life. And you couple that with the part where you kind of start, being attracted to other girls. Start going around. I mean, you're young. You could surely pick up more girls. Look, even if you're not really that attracted to them, even if you don't want to be in a relationship with them, you're going to get a more positive reaction out of this girl if you're pulling other girls and kind of proving to her that, hey, you have a little bit of relationship potential. You know what I'm saying? Because right now she's just seeing a guy, a huge guy, at 16, and he's turning into this teddy bear. He doesn't have any other girls around. He doesn't have anything else interesting going on in his life, so he's kind of just sitting around waiting for this girl to cuddle with him. You can't be doing that. You gotta be off doing your own things. You gotta, not answer her texts immediately when she sends them because you're too busy doing cool shit. You're not going to be doing much cool shit when you're 16 except maybe driving illegally, but you got to have something to offer her other than your undivided attention, because of course she's going to love you for that. Any girl's going to love you for that. Any girl's going to love, their gay friend that's going to sit around on the phone and listen to them bitch for the next 4 hours. Work on your funny stuff. She said that you were funny, right? Keep trying to make her laugh. Keep trying to make everybody laugh. If you're good at being funny, you can attract a lot of girls that way. Start doing that. Start focusing on that. Alright, guys. Holy shit. That is it for this edition of Stories from the Friend Zone. Thank you guys for listening. I hope it helped. I really do. And we will catch you guys later. See you then.